Yeah, welcome to week 2 for our Modern Horizons 3 feature matches here. And I'm joined here. It's a bit late at night for him, but he's going to be a trooper today. Dirk is going to join me on commentary for the first time, so welcome. Uh,
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. And we got Jack H here in a league committee battle against Adam. So let's find out what Adam is playing with over there.
Well, Adam already has a pretty solid hand. The Plains Forest, Hexgold Slith, Envoy of Ancestors, Faithful Watchdog, and the Thraben Charm. And he just drew into his mythic of the set with uh, Iladami
Oh,
Kovekdal.
yeah.
It's the elf who slams big stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty assertive looking hand there. So Jack may have to watch out. He's got, I wouldn't say a super slow start, but it's not fast either. He's got Demon Furior. He's got the Cami of Jealous Thirst. He's got a Petrifying Meddler. He's got a Sink into Stupor, which is the blue double face land. He's got a Plains and a Seething Landscape. So it looks like he's playing an Esper kind of deck here, which is what he was mentioning to us before.
Mm. On the other hand, I am really seeing that Wizard is going to go in swinging, and the Envoy of Ancestors is going to make a big life swing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice little stop sign here, at least for the 2-1, because giving it first strike doesn't help against a 1-3 death touch. So, kind of the perfect
Uh,
card here.
if he uses the energy and attacks, he is going to dare him to block. If he is it's if he Radek is not going to take the bait, it is getting murdered by the Thraben Charm.
Yeah,
But it seems like he's not trying that kind of gambit. He's playing it
I
safe.
mean, if I'm Jack and my opponent attacks with that, even with the first strike, I'm blocking every time. I'll trade the combi for a card out of my opponent's hand.
Hmm.
All right, so Legion Leadership now is going to get played as land, and Jack has drawn his Pearl Ear, which he can't cast this turn because it's one white white. That's the rare fox that cares about auras. So looking like he wants to perhaps Demon Furior here, just to slow the proceedings down a little bit, and then next turn he could land his Petrifying Meddler.
Hmm. It is interesting that he's running 4 colors, it seems.
Well, 3 so far: black, white, and blue, from what I can tell. I don't I
Okay.
don't see any other colors at this time. Well,
Well,
keep you
I
apprised.
do see the red fixing. He might have gone to the dark side.
Yeah, it could also just be a white source that you cast as a spell sometimes.
Let's hope so. It I I do kind of expect, yes. Removal is coming down. He drew into Expel of Unworthy,
Okay.
and this way he can start swinging and making some good value on that Hex Gold Slith.
Yeah, I think
Because, yeah, hmm?
yeah, I think this is how you like using expel because like I get that played against me a lot, and my opponents are like exiling my 5 drops, and I'm getting 5 life, and I'm like, I'm happy. They spent 5 mana, and I gained 5 life. Like that's usually aggro, like aggro decks are doing that, and I'm like, they gave me 5 life. That's about the same as just me having the 5 drop in play a lot of the time. So
Yes, it is a card that control decks would favor, but also the only control archetype I can think of in white would be black-white, one of the weakest combinations of the format.
yeah, and sometimes you just need to get the thing off the table, right? Like sometimes you just gotta pay the
Yes,
price. If they gain life, so be it. And it exiles. It hits anything as long as you pay the kicker. So I mean, it's not the end of the world.
that's true. Though usually other spells in this set do that job much better.
Yeah, I think the main point is that like I'm kind of happy when my opponents play the Expel the Unworthy, especially on my big creatures. I'm kind of like
Absolutely.
I kind of like sure, great, sounds good. All right, so I looks like Adam. Perhaps he's just a 2-color deck. I guess we'll find out more in sideboarding, but pretty assertive so far.
It would make a lot of sense, especially if he is running Eladami. He is going to run Eldrazi and such, to have any cards to put down.
Yeah.
And like many people say, if he were to also play red or some other color, playing 4 colors can be a problem, especially with an aggressive color combination like Selesnya.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I think from what he was mentioning before, he just has the 3 colors. But right now he has Dog Umbra up,
I will
which
see it
should
right
be
now
nice.
as he
Oh,
is looking into his deck. I do not see a mountain so
oh,
far.
okay. Yeah, I just meant Jack was playing the 3 color deck. Adam, yeah, I mean, green white is a deck that I think every card that you end up splashing makes your deck a little bit worse. Just because if you have a good green white deck, it's because of your 2 drops like Faithful Watchdog, and the more off color lands you put in your deck, the less likely you are to play that on turn 2. So,
Oh yes.
like,
But what I'm seeing right now is the most common Selesnya problem. He is running out of steam a little bit here.
yeah, and he,
With an opponent,
yeah,
his opponent is over the starting health total thanks to that Expel the Unworthy, which is kind of awkward for an aggressive deck.
yeah, making no headway on the opponent's life total at all. Both of their creatures are bigger than all 3 of yours. It's bad. It's a bad look. And Jack has drawn. I remember he mentioned he has 3 copies of this card he just drew, which is Wrath of the Skies. So
Oh damn.
this looks to be a controlling deck mostly through and through here. I mean, sometimes you'll have assertive draws, but he can he can just use it to kill both of Adam's 2 drops if he wants. There's a lot of this. There's a lot this Wrath of the Skies can do. He can just wipe out selectively certain creatures.
Wrath in Skies also is fantastically flexible as long as you have other ways to get energy. Because he can overpay it and keep energy, he can play it for
Two
just
mana.
2 mana and use the energy he already had stored before. He can wipe out, for example, right now, just creatures with 2 CMC and lower to keep his own creatures alive, or go over the top and just completely wipe out his opponent's headway.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So I don't know if Adams is the type to go look at pools while he's playing, but anybody who would pull up Jack's pool during a match would immediately see these 3 Wrath of the Skies, and it would probably change the way they played. Absolutely
There's
would
a big
have to
play.
change, but because you have to assume your opponent has one basically at any
Oh
point.
my.
Okay, so
Something big is happening. His mythic is starting to pay off big time right now.
yeah, he of note he did not get the he did
He
not
didn't
get
get the
he
cascade
did not
trigger,
get the
yes,
Cascade of note.
but he played this Altasaur off the top of his deck
Oh yeah,
and pulled the area auxiliary off it right after,
for one
which is
mana.
maybe like, oh yes. I mean, the first one for one, the other one just pay for it. But it's also virtual card advantage. One of the few things I was just mentioning, and now he's getting back into this.
So
Is there Wrath in
yeah, yeah,
Rakek's?
yeah. Jack
Oh,
has
damn.
Jack has the
Okay.
Wrath of the
Yeah.
Skies. I think he was thinking about putting a Dog Umbra on on his creature, but it would just
Mm.
I believe it would just die as part of the Wrath of the Skies. So I don't know if it would
It
work, but
would not.
okay,
It would not.
because Wrath of the Skies
The
kills enchantments as well.
but it doesn't kill it early enough.
Okay,
Only cards like what's it called in Commander, Austere Command,
right, because
where it's a separate effect destroying enchantments first, killing creatures after. That's where the totem armor wouldn't save it.
all right, yeah. So he is showing he has, I guess, a card that you could call his deck 3.5 colors here because of the depth defiler.
Mm.
Um, without being able to kick it, he just says, "I'd rather just draw the cards here than bother with bouncing this creature. It can't attack past me anyway. So let me just
Yeah, exactly.
get some cards." He still has the Dog Umbra, and he's drawn now uh, an Ether Spike, which if Adam
Hmm.
draws something expensive, you might be able to catch him. And a Serum Visionary, also known as my boy.
Yes, Adam right now has Collective Resistance and Wing It and that Thraben Charm from the opening hand.
Okay.
Wing It, of course, makes for a nice combination with the Envoy, both modifying it, though he just put an Outlast counter on the modifier anyway. But a flying lifelinker has always been a great thing to keep yourself in the game
Right.
when you would otherwise get knocked out rather quickly.
Yeah, this envoy it's been a pretty neat card because there's a lot of ways to modify, so it doesn't take much for this card to really potentially swing a game.
Oh, I would go further than that. I think that woman can really do work in many decks. It's one of the biggest reasons to even play modify at all. The effect is amazing. She on her own is going to do some work if she doesn't get removed.
Yeah, real good. And
But
these tutus are I mean they're okay, but they're not really doing much in the face of this envoy.
Mhm. I am actually surprised that we do not see an Abzan deck on Adam's side right now, because I had a cheeky little look at his pools, and he had lots of interesting stuff with On Do Not Master, two Glasswing
Well, he
Graces,
has something. He
and
got a swamp.
oh yes,
Okay.
but he didn't draw into any of those cards either. Um, but that's a big tell. There's a Wombat also inside this
Okay.
pool.
Well, here's another Wrath of the Skies. I don't know if
Oh
it advantages
no.
him to do that. He's just gonna. I think he's just gonna dog Umbra this envoy and start
Yes.
attacking. Like, seems like the smartest thing to do.
Yes,
It,
but what he doesn't know is there's collective resistance in Adam's hand right now. He can destroy the
yeah,
enchantment and make it indestructible at the same
yeah.
time.
The Thraben Charm also blows up enchantments, but you usually want to use that to kill a creature if you can. But
Exactly.
it is another mode. All right. I mean,
Yes.
collective resistance. Uh,
Combined with the,
yeah, Jack could counter it here with the Ether Spike. He can make his opponent pay 5.
and I think he should.
Uh,
There we have it.
yes, because then his creature gets eaten. Opponent
Yeah.
gains 3 life and still has this envoy. So
Adam considers using Thraben Charm and wing it to, still get his blocker online and actually big enough to kill the Eldrazi. But he will commit the rest of his hand to this.
I don't know if he needs to do both. He could just Straven Charm and eat one of the tutus and then just have it back as a 3/4. So I don't.
And he's committing to this. He says enough. But he is not using the winger to kill the
No,
Eldrazi.
I
He
think
is
that's right.
completely. Yeah, I see it as well.
Yeah,
It's also a bad look if your hand is empty. Uh, Sadly, he's drawing into more lands now.
yeah. So in Jack's hand, he has again Wrath of the Skies, the second one, and another copy of Sink into Stupor, which is that modal land blue card that could bounce something, a
Hmm.
spell or a permanent non-land permanent. So Adam's just going to get his life gain here, and now Jack's drawn another interesting card, the Prismatic Ending, which was from the special guest slot, I believe they call it. Uh,
That's the. Oh my, that's the first time I see it resolved in. And I played this format a lot so far.
yeah, so that's the one where you can pay any amount of mana plus a white, and for every color that you used, you exile a non-land permanent with mana value less than or equal to the number of colors. So in that case, he
Oh
paid X
wow.
equals 2, which is 3 mana overall plus the white, 3 different colors, and he exiled a 3 mana creature. Very, very cool card.
Hmm. Also fantastic art.
Yeah, I believe I mean I'm not up to date on modern, but I know at least since it's come out, it's been somewhat of a staple in modern itself. So cool card, and now on arena as well.
Oh, absolutely. But he only drew into a 2-drop, still has the trick in hand, but it wouldn't help him that much unless he wanted to kill your pet card, the Serum Visionary.
I mean, look, it's a 2/2 that draws a card. You can't ask for too much more from a comment, at least for
Oh,
what I like
yes.
to do. And I honestly thought at first I was like, this is a master set, basically, Horizon's master set. A 2/2 that draws a card for 3 is not going to be good enough in a synergy set where everything's pushed. You know what? The card's still good enough. The card's still plenty good
Oh,
enough.
yes. Oh yes, not just good enough for a common. He is becoming an all-time best.
Yeah,
At 3 mana, he's actually taking up a slot in a pauper deck I'm playing, taking over, I think, Seagate Oracle from Zendikar.
Seagate Oracle, I know that
And
one well.
yeah, so he's one of the best blue 3 drops in the history of the game, at common.
I like Cloudkins here also. It's 3 mana, 2/1
Oh,
flying draw card.
we
It's the fixed inspired overseer.
we just saw the Winged got destroyed
Yeah,
by a bounce, and now he traded off his last creature. He drew up another planes,
yeah.
and the last card in his hand is another planes as well, with leading up to a total of 11 lands, which is just painful.
So interesting from
Uh,
Jack that at with his opponent at 7, he opted to loot, but it found him a 7/7 here. So it was. I mean, I think if it's me, I'm always just okay. My opponent's at 7. I'm attacking them down to 2. Both my threats are now lethal, but he looted and he found a 7/7. So I can't say it was a bad turn.
but it was a nail biter. There was some back and forth until that Wrath started to
Yeah, if green white
land a
decks
good
don't
blow.
absolutely get on the front foot, unless you have a couple really swingy bombs, you're going to lose to a lot of things, which is sort of the problem why we don't see a lot of green white style decks in League frequently. Just because when it peters out, it just like you kind of like know you're dead, like you know partway through the game.
That's true, but I really loved the Eladram replay, paying an Altisaur for 1 green and pulling up the auxiliary right after.
Yeah, in the face of 3 wraths, not as good, but he didn't know that obviously.
Yep, we are seeing his deck right now. There is a Rite of Reliquary, Abstruse Appropriation, both Glassring Graces, and he is now sideboarding in a Writhing Chrysalis,
Huh?
which is really interesting. That would be the fourth color of his deck, actual colors, not colorless, which we are all kind of treating as an easy thing.
Sure.
He also has 2 Nyxborn Hydras, which would have been amazing to cast with having 11 lands to maybe still get the game.
Yeah, Nyxborn
Uh,
Hydra's really, really good card. Really good finisher at common, honestly. Like, so many games
wait,
end just when somebody top decks that and pumps their guy by 7.
and they often end unexpectedly because it
Yeah.
is a big boost in power and trample, and if it gets blocked, you still get a big blocker untapped.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I
Go.
I see him also taking in a Drown Yard Lurker, so he's really going away from the quick
Huh.
game plan right now, and with 2 Paths of Annihilation, we are going to see more Eldrazi and more bigger creatures than in the first game.
Okay, so he says, my opponent has 3 wraths, I need to try and go over the top. Or at least, I mean,
Yes.
maybe he doesn't know he has 3 wraths, but he said, my opponent appears to be controlling. But usually, if your opponent's controlling, you want to try and go under it more than over the top. But we'll see. Adam's a many-time top 8 or 2-time league winner, so he knows what's what. So if he figures that this is going to be better in the matchup, I trust his judgment as far as that goes. Absolutely, for sure. Jack, he took out. I didn't see what he put in. Probably a couple cheaper spells, just because he saw his opponent's deck looked aggressive. He took out the. He had 2 copies of Demon Fury, which he took out, just because the creatures on Adam's side aren't particularly like important, and like demon fearing his creatures isn't going to do that much. Most of them are 2 and 3 drops or have
Mm-hmm.
ETBs. So he just said that's a little inefficient. I'll dump those. And I like I said didn't see what he brought in, but I imagine it was cheaper cards.
Adam is basically changing the direction of his deck here, taking out some energy cards, which I can understand. Were maybe 3 or 4 inside his deck, basically just in white. To fully commit to the game plan. He also he dared putting Kudo, King Among Bears, inside his main deck. He already had him in the first game, but I really would like that big old bear to get
I
resolved.
mean, depending on how many
So,
watchdogs you have, that Kudo can be a beating.
oh yes, I think that is also the reason why he has 2 Mandible Kites in his main deck.
That'll do it too. Yeah, get a 3/3
Oh
flyer,
yes.
get a 5/5 for 2. Like, yeah, these are things.
That is a really fun combination, and that's also what the bear wants to see for
Yeah, I mean
sure.
that's exactly why the cards in the set
Mm.
is for those type of things, for the creatures that come in with counters, the living weapons and whatnot. But yeah,
Yes.
we'll see how this transformational. See, it sounds like somewhat transformational sideboard is going to work out here.
The first hand wasn't that great, even though it did have Kuro in it.
Oh,
So the on the first mulligan, we are seeing a kind of keepable hand with black and white mana, thanks to a Glasswing Grace. But he is lacking the green to play Rite of the Reliquary and Horrific Assault and
mm.
the Watchdog as well. So we are going to lack plays until turn 4, where you can cast a Eerie Auxiliary without cards to support.
Oy, okay, so a little slow here. I mean, when you mulligan, you have to keep a little bit worse hands. Jack's hand
We
is
just
not
we,
doing much either, but yeah.
Adam just drew into a forest and he never didn't have it.
Oh, perfect. So for Jack here, he's got prismatic ending, which he may opt to just. I was going to say he may opt to just use immediately. He has Strength of the Harvest, which is that white green land that could be an aura. He's got Dog Umbra and Wrath of the Skies and 3 lands. So not too much to affect the board yet, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's got his Wrath here, so he can let Adam overextend while hopefully not losing too much of his life along the way here.
Mm-hmm. I think Adam made the right choice by casting the dog first instead of the Rite of the Reliquary, because the dog, of course, higher power, but getting that removed, it's still better to stomach. The Rite of the Reliquary is a card that can impact the game really easily. Ramping him up, getting the lands he needs to cast his Eldrazi.
Yeah,
He just needs to draw.
it's like a good on turn 2, good on turn 10 type of card, where Faithful Watchdog
Oh,
is
yes.
good on turn 2.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Like when you draw that late in the
Absolutely.
game, it's usually going to be a blank. Right? White of the Reliquary, never really going to be a blank.
Nice little synergy here. Eldrazi Ravager cycling, increasing the power of his Rite of the Reliquary, and also drawing into Solitude,
Okay,
which is
wow.
another card. Yes.
That's one you basically never see coming. These special guests, especially these the instant creatures from that cycle, the ones that can be cast with flash.
Oh, yes. Flash, and also if it evokes, it would also not just increase the right, you can also sacrifice the Solitude before it dies to get another land out of it.
All right, I want to see it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. We also drew into a Dark Umbra last turn. That is a nice piece of removal to have a good look on hand.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing to report here on Jack's side here. Just sort of, he has a Dog Umbra, but that doesn't stop the white from activating later. He's got Sink into Stupor, the bounce spell, and still Strength of the Harvest and Wrath of the Skies in the land. So he has not drawn a creature yet, it seems.
Yes, the Dark Umbra is showing its weakness right now
Yeah,
by not erasing abilities.
absolutely. Yeah, that card, I mean, I find it's mostly for. I found it, I want it in my aggressive decks usually.
Hmm.
Because if you're going late in the game, a lot of these creatures have utility either on ETB or if you sack them, or just have activate abilities or triggered abilities. It doesn't stop any of that. So it's a stopgap, but one for a deck that wants to be attacking more than Jax is.
That's true. Especially Adam now got a bit off his aggressive game plan, and he did prove last game that he's perfectly capable of removing enchantments with multiple cards in his deck.
Yes, perhaps Jack has processed that. So interesting. Let's see. He has finally drawn a creature here, but it's not really the one you want to see at this juncture in the game.
I wouldn't disrespect the inspiring inventor. He's the glue for every white deck that needs it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just at this juncture in the game, none of these abilities are very, very strong. I mean, I guess it's good with Wrath of the Skies, but he already has enough mana to kill whatever he needs to
Mhm.
with his Wrath.
I was I was about to say when he took the energy, I already expected him to just bank it and take maybe 2 more attacks, I would say, before he's going to rip the cord to get the reversal on him.
Yeah, I mean, at 12 life, it's getting to the point where you can't really take too many more hits before you're in extreme danger here.
Mm-hmm. Does Wrath of the Skies also destroy artifacts or just creatures and enchantments?
It hits everything: artifacts,
Oh,
creatures,
that's
and enchantments.
going to be sad about that one power stone of his.
Yeah, not sure exactly what he was ramping into with that, but whatever it is, it's not going to be around if he does play the Wrath this turn. Which, no, okay. He has Sink into Stupor as a bounce spell. He has Ether Spike, which can basically counter anything with the amount of energy he has. So he says, I'll see. I can take another hit and then adjust accordingly. But yeah, when you draw one creature, it is hard to win a game of Magic. Uh, don't need to be an expert analyst to come to that conclusion.
That is true. But what I am really thinking is Adam is really aware about the potential board wipes because he is refusing to cast that Solitude. He's just going to sit this one out,
You blame him?
applying a bit of pressure, forcing him to wipe a board where it's not going to be worth it yet.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him for that, right? Like
Oh yeah.
he's felt the wrath already of the wrath, and he knows what that's about.
Of course, and I mean he is winning one step at a time as long as we are not getting some kind of reach or flying blocker.
No, he's
Jack
shown.
Jack is
Well,
feeling the pressure.
yeah, we can see now he's got this Genku Future Shaper, which is a fun card.
Oh yes,
He
but if he doesn't cast it, he is basically telling Adam his whole plan. Because there's no other reason to not cast an amazing card like this, except you are planning to wrath the board.
I mean, Adam's probably just is playing as if the wrath is coming, so I don't think Adam
Oh yes,
cares too much about what happens with this creature. He just says, "Well, okay, well, this is
correct.
probably a sign of a wrath, but we'll see."
Correct me if I'm wrong, because this might be a funny problem. Wrath destroys creatures, and Dark Umbra, does it still count as totem armor for opponent's
Well,
creatures if you cast it
that's
on them?
that's what I was asking before. If you
Oh,
if you put if
sorry.
you put totem
Yes.
armor on or Umbra armor, sorry, on your own
Mm.
creature, will it be saved during the Wrath of the
We are
Skies?
going.
And
We
well,
are not going to find
no,
out.
no, because yeah, it's
Yeah.
Umbra armor was not cast on Jack's own creature. He cast it on Adam's, so
Mm.
he's doing X equals 1 here. It looks like.
But mind you, X equals 1 just means he gains that much energy. Of course, he is going
Yep.
to pay more than that.
So be probably paying 4.
And Adam, already expecting the wrath, kept the Dark Umbra just for that in case,
Okay, I guess we'll see
saving his
now
own
if it
creature.
does work the way we imagine it might.
I think not. The UI is already showing us the protective little shield counter on his own creature, which just got saved,
Okay.
while the opponent's aura did not shield his own. We would have seen the little glow up otherwise.
All right.
Now
Good
he's
to know.
also perfectly fine to flash in the Solitude at the end of his opponent's turn
And
to
Genk.
keep that
Yep.
pressure going.
He does have the Ether Spike though, so
Oh, that is bitter.
yeah.
But we are
So
still on a 3-turn
the
clock.
bird still gets to attack, so that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Jack has Sink
Does
into
Jack
Stupor. He could bounce the bird back, I guess, but it's not a it's not a permanent solution to this problem here.
He doesn't have any way to trigger his legendary creature and get some
Nope.
rat token with lifelink, right?
Or even a flying blocker.
Well, that's true.
It makes flyers as well.
We still have a horrific assault and a forest in his hand, so the assault might be used to murder the looter. Ah, yes. I always forget about that ability,
Yeah,
and
I
then I get
mean
beat.
that card does a lot.
We just drew into a truly royal card.
Go on.
Kudo King among bears is looming among
I'm
us.
not sure that's good
But it
here.
is a bad. Yes, I was about to say that is bad news bears.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Oh, good wordplay there. I like it.
Thank you,
You're
thank
hired.
you.
You're hired.
That's,
Yeah, making everything a 2/2 not advantageous when your opponent can put counters on all their creatures and make tokens.
but like I said, he still has horrific assault to kill the Tempest Harvester before he can start looting and start smashing.
Yeah,
Uh, and if he doesn't get rid of this flyer, Adam might inch it out right now.
yeah. Jack does have the bounce spell here, so he could send the flyer back and at least give himself, you know, an extra turn here.
Otherwise, if he removes the Harvester, it's going to trigger Genku, getting him another flying blocker to drag out the game.
Yeah. So what else was in his hand? Anything else that can be used?
Just Kudo in a forest.
Okay, so Kudo is basically uncastable here. Oh, he's gonna turn
Oh
it into a
my
bear.
god!
Ah, I see now.
Oh, this
There
is
you
a
go.
smart play. He is smarter than the average bear.
That's what we like to see. Yeah, that was I didn't like I wasn't processing that. I haven't played with Kudo, so but this is the reason why he's won two leagues. So, you know, he figured out the way to
Yes.
kill that thing, and it was not what you might have expected. But yeah, he fights first, or not a fight, but just punches it for three, and then reduces its toughness below zero or below one to kill it. And this bird is still a problem here. And Jack is going to go to one, despite having the bounce spell that could send it back and prevent the damage. Basking Brood Scale is coming down, unaffected by Kudo's ability, except, well, it's a bear in addition to its other types. But yeah, this is not looking good. He
Of,
needs his other wrath.
mm,
But
he was also really calculating his chances right now because if he didn't do the combination play to kill the other creature, he would have been able to win the game a turn earlier, but only given his opponent doesn't draw a removal spell or loot a removal spell with his creature.
yeah, so
Uh,
now Adam's even protected against the wrath because he can get back his Eldrazi Ravager. Because he has two
that is
Eldrazi's to
true.
sack now. Even though they're
That is,
Eldrazi's bears, but they're still Eldrazi.
yes, he would be able to get it back to his hand, but he would not be able to cast it.
No, but it's still something. He could then cycle it to find something else. Like it's better than all his stuff dying to a wrath, but um
That is true.
so
Jack just got his first flying blocker.
yeah, so he's got a flyer now. It drew him okay. That's that's a scary draw here.
Oh my, and it just revealed the top of the deck to us, which is incidentally a creature like he hoped, but because he needed both green sources, he is not able to cast the Hydra that is showing its face right now.
Oh, the Nyxborn Hydra. Okay. So
Oh, one.
if Adam decides to attack with everything, which he's not attacking with everything, attacking with everything would prompt a response here from Jack. But as it stands, he could just trade off everything. Yeah, he still has his bounce spell to sink into stupor, but he must be saving that for when it's absolutely needed because he hasn't used it yet on that flyer. All right, so he could loot here. He does have okay. He can loot away his land. He drew Deep Analysis, which he doesn't. He definitely does not want to flash that one back, but he can cast it from his hand next turn in search of a wrath.
Yes, generally, Jack really has to lean on his ability to draw cards right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what blue is good for, right? That's if you're playing blue and not drawing cards, you're giving up its one of its main strengths.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in this set where draw cards is a big thing to support the Dimir archetype and is pretty much exclusive for black and blue in this set. It's the other colors have a hard time keeping up with that kind of
Yeah, like
card
yeah. Normally
advantage.
nowadays, in a lot of sets, green gets card advantage, but I think they scaled it back a little bit here in this set. Didn't go too crazy on giving green card advantage, but yeah, let's see what he can find here from this deep analysis. He's drawing a Kami of Jealous Thirst, which he could play and activate immediately for 0. That's the one that
Jack
aims to.
doesn't Jack doesn't know it yet, but if he doesn't have instant speed removal, he cannot save himself from a Hydra slamming in big time.
No, he's got a 3/4 lifelink here. I don't know if we'll see if it's enough toughness here plus the 3 life gain. It might be. He could play a Hydra for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could play it for X equals 6. Okay.
We are already looking at the next card. He's going to draw another land.
So you can do X equals
And
7.
yes.
Jack will definitely be able to survive. He has a Death Touch. He has actually, well, yeah, he should be able to survive, but it's not going to be pretty.
Oh, yes.
Survive, yes. Make it out alive the next turn remains to be seen.
We are also seeing we are going to draw a Thraben Charm next.
Okay, that's a good one too. So Jack obviously not pleased about this, but he can definitely stay alive.
Oh, I think Adam, on the other hand, is well. Kudo did lots of work for us, but now it might be time to say farewell.
Yeah, well, he wants to keep his Eladamri alive just for the card draw or card advantage it
Yes,
offers. And we were just saying green doesn't get too much card advantage, but this one's a mythic, so it's fine.
yes, absolutely. Though, I mean, he is much more scary for his ability to cheat in mana than his ability to generate card advantage. Though he
I
has
mean,
just
both
been.
both are.
Oh yes.
It's the whole package, right? The card, it does whatever you need. All right, so setting up some blocks here. He's going to gain 2. He's going to take.
Gain 2, take 2.
Yeah.
Back to 3, and you better not touch that deep analysis.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess he could. He could cast it. If you're at under 3 life, you could not cast it. But
That is true.
the 7/8 here just demands an answer and a landscape off the top. He has a loot here, but I don't know what he can find that will deal with both. He has Expel the Unworthy, but that does not save him from the elf that's going to attack him for 3. So he's showing it despite not needing to. I mean, with it, as his last card in hand, it's pretty open faced. Oh, I guess he could find something with his henge. No, he just says, "Let me kill myself this way." You die doing what you love. You love drawing cards. Well, he paid the price.
Well, Adam was making really clear that we have 2 evenly matched decks at this moment, and creating a whole nail-biting moment for a second. I did get scared when that Hydra got exiled. If he could still turn, if Jack could still turn it around.
Yeah, well, there's that famous question. Are you the beatdown? And we know who's the beatdown and who's the deck that wants to get to the long game here. It's absolutely clear. Neither player is trying to prove otherwise. They know their role in this matchup. Jack is trying to stay alive to take over the game with value. Adam's trying to attack with creatures early and often. And this time he worked through. He worked through the Wrath. He worked through the Genku there with a little clever play with the horrific assault, and then playing the bear.
Adam, though, did change, not quite if he's the beatdown or not, because, like you said, he clearly stayed the beatdown, but he did change his angle of attack.
Yeah.
And right now, he's switched one more card by committing even more to the change he did before, getting us in the something of justice. And,
The
you get
decree?
angels equal to X.
Yeah,
Decree of
decree.
justice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's if you play it just as it is, you can make angels, but it's very expensive. Most people will cycle it, so it's 2 and a white to cycle it, and then for every extra mana you spend, you get a 1/1.
yes, but we have to keep in mind, even though we did not see it in play, I saw it in the pool and in his main deck. He has two Paths of Annihilation.
Okay.
He is able to both tap a spawn and then sacrifice it to double dip into the mana and maybe pay for this card in a major way.
Yeah, so I think you need it's like two
Oh,
XX, two white white or something like that. So to get the first
yep.
angel, it's 6 mana, and then two more for every angel. It's also the instant speed cycling is kind of good against a wrath, right? Like in the late game, your opponent
Hmm.
wraths, and then you just say, okay, I'll spend 8 mana, make 5/1/1s, and have untap with a board again. So Jack did have to mulligan here, uh, but he does have a Serum Visionary here. He does have another wrath, surprise, surprise, in hand. Expel the Unworthy and 3 lands. What's Adam got here aside from his bear thing?
Adam kept, but he kept a really fishing hand. It was lands, glasswing grace, and an abstruse appropriation. So no place until turn 4, just a piece of removal and a lifelink aura. He drew into Kudo, which is changing things a bit, and now into another bit of ramp. So at least he has all the lands to pay for those expensive sideboard cards he got earlier. But he's now hoping to not find any more.
Yeah. Jack also has an
Uh,
appropriation in his hand, so may have dueling
oh boy.
appropriations here. Look, I can't complain against Kudo. Um, he, no matter what, every creature will at least be a 1 out of 5 on the Cloudblazer Index by him making it a 2/2. So a lot of creatures will get upgraded from 0 to 1. So what could be bad?
That is true.
So he's got the 4 colors of mana here. So I don't know what Jack, because Jack just saw the green and white cards, I believe. So he may have some
Two,
surprises here. Jack may be in for some
two,
surprises.
two decks with 4 colors each on the board. Are we back into OTJ?
Well, Jack doesn't have any green cards. He's just playing that as a tapped white source that he can cast once in a while. Which, when you're already playing 3 colors, I don't love those dual
That
lands that
is
are
true.
always tapped, and like it's a narrow card. You're not going to play it as a spell too often, and the rest of the time, like I think a planes is going to be better in the abstract. Oh well, if there was ever a target for appropriation, we may have found it here.
Freshly drawn. He better get rid of it, but he should have gotten rid of it before the attacks
Huh.
because now he's being able to pay the mana and turn the bear into a bear angel.
Wow, Bear Angel. So Jack does have the Wrath of hand, maybe hoping Adam plays something else and then he can Wrath it. But I think just stealing that Guide of Souls straight up would have excited me a bit more than what's happening right now.
Oh, absolutely. Stealing it is really tempting, but considering he doesn't know it, but Adam's hand just being 2 pieces of interaction, now with the Dark Umbra being drawn into, he is going to destroy all the creatures, but the Dark Umbra is going to save Kudos' big, big body.
All right, yeah. So he sort of got a bit punished here by doing that. He will get to keep his Serum Visionary through all of this, but there's
Ooh.
still a 4/4 flying here, which I mean he does have Expel the Worthy and Appropriation, but he's going to take another 4 here, and that's not nothing.
Yes. If it were not for the Dark Umbra destroying 2 enemy creatures and a piece of ramp is absolutely worth the wrath.
We are just seeing rares everywhere here. Rare creatures in play.
Uh,
I mean, Adams played 3 rare creatures in a row, or 1 mythic. We had a
mhm.
Wrath cast. We have Appropriation in both players' hands. So we are not without our powerful cards here in Modern Horizons 3, and a rare land in play even on Jack's side to boot. He says, "I
That
want
is
this
true.
Eladamri," but he needs a colorless or a green to cast it. But I don't
Mhm.
think he has other
But
green sources. But any of the landscapes will do, I suppose. Nice.
But in the past few weeks, I think we all learned that in Modern Horizons 3, cards don't have to be rare to change the game quite a lot and really bring some power to the board. We are now seeing the other abstruse abbreviation getting cast
Yep.
to steal a mythic for a rare.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, neither of the stolen cards can be cast yet.
But we are seeing a pretty low risk, but still a risk, of casting the opponent's creature by with a 1+ appropriation without the fitting wingding mana.
Yeah, I mean, he had one card in hand. He said if it was a creature, it would be in play already, so I'll take my risk.
Absolutely. Especially helping someone to cheat with the mana if he's already having 7 is not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, exactly. That.
You might even get around the cast trigger of an opponent's Eldrazi if you're really lucky.
Yeah, I mean, the 6/6 is a problem. It's absolutely a problem. It usually is.
Yes. We just drew into an evolution witness. He's looking at his graveyard. He might get himself some kind of colorless mana source
Yeah,
to get that Genku into play, or to get himself another permanent like the Glass Ring Grace to give that Wampus flying and finish out the game.
yeah. Jack does have a freshly drawn Ether Spike here, so he can make him pay, 5, and I think he probably should here.
These two are really going to keep us guessing. The back and forth is not done yet.
No, I mean closely matched. I mean, obviously different strategies, but very very evenly matched here. I would say as far as the threats versus answers interplay.
The biggest problem Adam has is he is clearly telegraphing what he wants to do, choosing the Dark Umbra instead to at least interact instant speed, which I find is a good idea, even though this Umbra is most likely going to eat a counter
Oh right, he
spell.
didn't have mana for the Ether Spike. Oh, what am I thinking? I was
Mm,
thinking, oh, he's going to counter it, but no, he had to tap a bunch of mana last turn.
yes,
He has drawn a landscape, which can get him his stolen card here. But this Dog
but he
Umbra
still needs.
is gonna make it really difficult here for Jack. He has a Razorgrass ambush, but he's at 2 and he's facing a 6/6 trample with. Okay,
He now has enough toughness on the board to barely survive the attack.
and he has an Emissary of Soulfire on top. That's the 1/4 that can give Exalted,
Oh, that is going to also take care of the second attacker.
and he gets to cast that off the top because of Eladamri. Everyone's having fun here. I think. I'm having fun watching this. It was just
Oh yes.
back and forth, power cards, power plays. Let's see if, and he has a Kami on top now, Jack. The 1/3 Death Touch.
We just drew into, I think, a game deciding card. Nyxborn Hydra just came up, while the
Yeah,
Ether Spike mana is not to be seen.
nope. He tapped all his blue. I don't know if he was doing that intentionally or if the auto tapper just did its thing. But all his blue's gone, and it's not looking great for Jack if we're giving something +5 here and trample.
Yes, I suspect the auto tapper kind of took Jack by surprise, who was most likely really happy to see that emissary on the top of the deck and didn't consider tapping the mana properly. Although I would have to check what was the first spell. But Adam just considering what might still ruin this play for him, or if he really has it.
Yeah, I mean there could be like a Dog Umbra, right? Like that would shut it down pretty hard.
That would be bitter.
But as we see, he has a Razor
That,
Grass Ambush, which is 3 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. But if your opponent's attacking with 15 power trample, it's not going to do nearly enough here when you're at 2.
Hmm.
Okay, so he's
Adam chose.
still okay. So he's
Yeah.
rather than giving everything a trample, he just says, "I'll give the big thing trample." Turns out he with 10 toughness, he still dies. Yeah. Well, no, actually, no. He stays alive here. He stays alive. He can Razor Grass
He didn't block.
ambush the 4/3.
Hmm.
So as it turns out,
Yes.
putting the giving everything trample would have probably been the play here, but he was probably playing around certain things, maybe not the Razorgrass ambush. It's hard.
That is
There's a
true.
lot
If
going on.
I would have to check the instant speed interaction, Wither and Bloom would have also been a possibility.
Yeah,
Um,
I think maybe he said if he has -3/-3, I'm not going to be able to attack with my Hydra. And I mean, he knows there's a Kami of Jealous Thirst on top, so I think he needs to. He did set an upkeep stop, and I think he's going to sack his landscape here to look for something else
mhm.
because he needs. I mean, he needs something. All right. Well, he's drawn a redraw and tuned the narrative, but things are looking
Yes, it is.
grim here.
Yes, it is really tricky to get rid of both the Wampus and whatever he does, even if he exiles it, he is going to also be dealing with an Expand Hydra right after.
Yeah. So he's drawn a Depth Defiler, which can return a creature, but he'd still be facing down a 5/6. Um, so he has a Depth Defiler. So technically, he can chump and stay at one.
Mhm.
So he found the line here to live, which is
Yes, and also redraw two
oh,
more cards and discard one.
he's drawn an Expel the Unworthy here.
Oh my.
Okay.
They really want us to keep gasping and clasping our pearls
Oh yeah, we are.
because
This is not over.
no, no, no. This set is wild. Uh, there have been debates to bring mechanics into this, and we are now seeing Adam shocked by not quite getting
Why
it.
won't you
Yeah.
just die already? I think is what he's thinking.
Yes, 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 yes.
Maybe he would word it in a nicer way, or maybe not, depending on who's listening. But he's probably a bit exasperated here, but he's still on the
Mm.
front foot very much. So
I think he took it in stride. It is just, of course, really surprising to even see this play
so
happen.
upkeep, he's going to sack his land, and he's drawn an appropriation here.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
Oh Jesus.
Well, this is we have our memorable moment soundboard now. This might be one of the more memorable moments of this league, perhaps. We'll see. Just this whole game is going to be very memorable. He says, "Here's a Wumpus. It's something for you to put a dog umbrella on, I suppose."
Mm.
Of note,
And
yeah.
testing out. Can you show us another creature?
Of note, Adam still has this Genku that once he gets a colorless source he can cast. He can't activate the ability ever though, unless he finds something that taps for any color. But it's just an extra card sitting there, which at some point will come into play. Um, Jack does have an Ether Spike still in hand that now with 9 energy can counter basically any card that gets cast. So
And there we see top decking a top dog.
I think Jack's gonna allow that to resolve, if I had to guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like I said, he can counter anything now with the 9 energy, and this game looked like it looked absolutely finished, like for a couple of turns, and Jack just needed to draw, like he drew things that kept him alive, but didn't progress the game. But then he finally, he cast the Depth Defiler, bounced the creature, drew another removal, and now has drew the Abstruse, and now can counter this. He said, "I'm going to keep this alive. I need this to live."
But this deck, this whole game already had multiple memorable moments, especially when both the Auto Tapper denied a counterspell in a turn that would have taken the game, but playing around certain cards opened up the survival.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one to top at least for the next few weeks of future matches. Perhaps when we get in the later weeks, we'll see some pretty epic type of games. But this one will be top of mind when when I look back on this league as far as the future matches. If somebody asked me at the end of the league, what was the future match you remember the most? Well, this is a front runner, I would say.
Well, we just discarded a little land and got back uh, the best card in the game, Colossal Dread Mask.
Okay,
Rawr. If you believe certain subreddits, but
it's a zero
is
out
it
of
going to
five.
be
How could
enough?
it be good? All right, he's drawn a dog Umbra now, so we just saw the game swing in a couple turns here. I mean, just a unlikely series of events leading to the result here. This is going to be this is going to be lethal by more than eight. It looks like 10 damage. We got some people emoting the dogs here. This game has certainly gone to the
Oh,
dogs. We have a dog Umbra and a faithful watchdog and all the other dog type of things that you could imagine. So congratulations
yes,
to Jack
really.
with that. I think it's safe to call it a comeback win because that was looking very dire for a couple of turns there, but found
I
exactly what was needed and pulled through. So congratulations, and we'll see everyone back in a little bit for our second match of the night.